Hey YouTube, today is December 8th. This is the latest in any year I have ridden my bicycle. Except for when I used to commute year round on, but that was 2011 or 12 was the last time I commuted to work. It is 53 degrees out here. There was some snow on the ground. It's all melted off again. But in recent years, we've had periods where it snowed. Last year in November, we had enough snow that it closed the trail permanently for the winter. They don't actually close the trail, but there was so much snow on the trail that you just couldn't ride it. When it's unpacked snow and it's just regular snow, yeah, you can go out and ride your bike on it, but they have cars that come up and down this. The DNR, this actually trail belongs to the DNR, and they control it in the winter time, checking on hunters, checking on trappers, because there are some trappers out here. There's a little beaver pond right I'm looking at right now. It goes dry in the summertime, but in the wintertime you could tell there's some beaver activity around because there's some trees that have been gnawed on. There's another pond, 400 yards maybe down there, that the beavers have dammed up the little creek, and they came out a couple of years ago and cleaned out the beaver dam and dug a stream channel so they could drain off that marsh, because the only reason there was any water in it was because of the beavers, and the water was deep there for a while. It was probably in some places in that area 20 feet deep from the beaver dams. You can see it on the dead trees that are out there, how high the water was. But not even all the trees have lost their leaves yet. There's a tree right over there that's got green leaves on it still. Strange year. But I don't chalk this up to global warming. I'm kind of on the fence about that. There's too much proof either way to say that we can absolutely say what the world is doing. If they're saying that we're warming the world, it might be true to a point, but there's also nobody been alive long enough to that hasn't lived 1,000 years or 10,000 years to know if this is an unnatural climate trend. They're just guessing because of some ice bores that they checked out in Antarctica. But nature is nature. There's no telling what is causing this. But it is not my job to worry about stuff like that. I live day to day and worry about what's happening tomorrow. But I'm out here on my bike ride. I decided to stop and do a video. I've done some videos. Trek, I took that wheel into Trek and showed it to them, and they were like, so? Like it's a normal occurrence. So we'll see if these Chinese wheels hold up better. It'll be next year before we know anything. I have probably 350 miles on them now. I took it off, took it downstairs, cleaned it up a little bit, put it back on the bike, and decided to go for a ride. I couldn't get Karen to come with me. She's feeling kind of sick. Sore throat, just run down. And we don't go anywhere to be around people except for last weekend. We were at Mrs. Claus in Ionia, and I did a YouTube short about it. But I would think if she was sick from something that happened then, she would have known about it before now. But she hasn't been much for bike riding this year. and the allergies are really bad too. And that's probably most of it is with this weather like it is. It there still were pretty high allergens in the air. Weed. There's still a lot of uh, weed pollen in the air, and they're still harvesting corn. Now it's feed corn, but still, every time they harvest it, they blow up a lot of dust and everything in the air, and it just is how it is. Being pretty much growing up in a farming area, you think that the corn's dusty. You should try wheat. Boy, you can see the clouds for miles coming from a combine harvesting wheat. But so I was looking at checking the bike out real well because I was going to go ahead and do some maintenance on it, but it really was thinking I was going to change the brake pads, but those resin Shimano pads seem to last forever, 2,350 miles, and they're still not ready to be changed. The only thing we've really changed is the wheels and the tire. I still want to get bigger tires for this. I'm pretty sure I can put quite a bit bigger tire on this for the riding. I'm hoping that that in the future they'll do something different with this trail. I know they don't want to pave it because of an endangered species. There's a moth or a butterfly, something, down by the gravel pit down here that's it's an endangered species in Michigan, so they don't want to put any chemicals in it, but I don't see the point when you have a gravel pit or a sand pit that's burning diesel. As a matter of fact, it's so bad that in the wintertime, after the shit shuts down, that the water is so polluted over there, you can smell the diesel coming off the pond that they have their machinery set up in. So they must have a bad diesel leak in that pond or something, and they're worried about the pavement leaching off oils and tars into the environment. Well, I don't get it. If they were really worried about it, they'd be in there telling them they have to do something with that gravel pit. It's in the same exact area. Well, I guess I'm going to get back on the bike. Nothing really to update. We are not going on a trip this winter. We learned our lesson last winter. Ended up being stuck in Rock Springs, Wyoming for a week because of roads being closed. And we thought if we left Rock Springs and we went south, tried to avoid the weather, it didn't really matter. Once you're in the Rocky Mountains, it don't matter which pass or which way you go over. The only exception to that might be if you can go clear to Texas and across Arizona, the lower part of Arizona, because up in Phoenix and ours at Flagstaff, way up in the mountains up there, you're way up in the elevation, and weather can be unpredictable even then. So I don't know. So this winter we're gonna stay home, hang out at the house. Karen will do her crocheting thing. I'm gonna do some rock polishing, which I have been doing. If I just don't post it. I polished a few agates up, cut a few agates, and looked at them, and trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with some of it. Try to make jewelry out of it some. But you know, I've been to the rock shows, and the best probably bet for me would be polish it and let somebody else make it into jewelry, because you always see the same stuff at the rock shows. Belt buckles with turquoise or other stones in it. Those neck things that the cowboys wear that have stones in them, or bracelets. And I haven't seen anybody wearing one of those bracelets outside of Texas or in a long time, so I just don't know if there's a market for it. And finding the jewelry making stuff at a reasonable rate is ridiculous. If you want real silver, A belt buckle, a silver belt buckle that has some nice artwork on it and a placed amount of stone is $150. Take into effect that it's almost pure silver, except for it's got a copper core in the most of the belt buckles, but it's silver, not just thin silver plated. You probably wouldn't wear through that silver in 100 years, but there's a couple ounces of silver in there, and raw silver is 50. 2 ounces of raw silver is $50, and then you've got the artwork. Somebody's got to make some money on it, so yeah. So you're taking you go from the item just to make the belt buckles, $200, and then your stones, which, you know, either you get them for free or you buy them. There's not really free by the time you pay the gas and everything to go looking for them. You have to put $200 on that item just to get any money out of it. So, yeah. I don't know too many people that pay $200 for a belt buckle, especially one that doesn't say world champion on it. Well, I'm going to get going. Hope you guys have a great day. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. We're still only at maybe 2% of the people who watch these videos actually subscribe. And I might not make content they want to watch, or I do make content that they want to watch, but don't want to be subscribed. But hey, I ain't gonna twist any arms. I'm not really worried about making money on the channel. If it ever gets to the point it makes money, I'll probably just reinvest it back into the channel anyway. That being said, I'm gonna get back on my bike. I'm only about a fifth of the way into the ride that I'm gonna do today. I'm thinking 28 miles, and that's about as far as I can go on this 400-watt battery before I'm wondering if I'm gonna make it home. I'm gonna invest in a 500-watt battery so I can go on farther rides to like Lowell or something. From the house is 17 miles one way. Get there and get back, and not have to pedal the bike myself. Well, that being said, I'm on my way. Have a great day.